Welcome to my channel Literary Intuition. Today's topic is The Solitary Reaper. This is a classic romantic poem written by William Wordsworth. It was composed in 1805 and it was published in 1807 in the poetry collection named Poems in Two Volumes. This is a poetry about a young Highland girl who was harvesting her grains in the field, and during the harvesting she was singing a melancholic song which our poet observed, and how he was spellbound by the song of the solitary reaper is portrayed in this poetry. How the song of the solitary reaper affected our poet is also portrayed in this poetry. First of all, let me read the first stanza of this poetry. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here, or gently pass. Alone she carts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the valley profound is overflowing with the sound. Behold means look. The poet requests the passers-by or the travelers that they should look at the young solitary highland girl. Lass means girl, who is harvesting, that means reaping, and also singing by herself in the field. Poet requests the travelers that they should stop and listen to the song of the solitary girl, or they can gently pass. After that, poet is speaking about what the solitary girl is doing. She carts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. That means she is singing a sad song. Once again, poet requests the travelers that they should listen. That's why he says, oh, listen. The poet requests the travelers that they should observe how the valley is filled with the sound of the song of the solitary river. One interesting thing is that the song of the solitary reaper is melancholic, and at the same time it is also beautiful. That's why it is filling the valley, total valley or whole valley. It is so beautiful that the valley is overflowing with the sound of the song. So here we are getting a paradoxical image. The song is beautiful and melancholic. Actually, the song is beautiful in the mind of the poet. It is the eye of the poet which can identify the beauty of the song of the solitary reaper. It may be that other travelers are not interested towards her song, but poet is interested. That means beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. It is true for this poetry. It is the poet who can understand the beautiful the beauty of the solitary girl and also the song. Here in this first stanza we see that the poet is a keen observer. Now come to second stanza. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. The poet metaphorically compares the song of the solitary reaper with the song of nightingale and also with the cuckoo bird. In the shade of Arabian desert, the song of nightingale chanted the weary travelers or tired travelers. It is true, but poet says The song of the solitary reaper is more beautiful than the song of the nightingale. It is more chanting than the song of the nightingale. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Hebrides are the group of islands of Scotland, where during the springtime the cuckoo bird sings so beautifully that it breaks the silence of the remote islands. With the help of the thrilling voice, the cuckoo bird breaks the silence of the islands. It is also true, but poet says the song of the solitary reaper is more thrilling even than the song of the cuckoo bird. From these two comparisons, it is clear that how natural the solitary reaper is, poet is speaking, how natural her song is, how she is connected to the nature, and that's why she is singing a song which is more beautiful than other natural uh, entities like nightingale, cuckoo, etc. Now come to the third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Or is it so more humbly? Sorry. Or is it some more humbly familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again. The poet is visiting to a foreign land. He does not know the language of the solitary reaper. That's why he is asking other travelers if they could uh, speak the meaning of the song of the solitary reaper to him. That's why he says, will no one tell me what she sings? But with the deep intuition, poet tries to understand the meaning of the song of the solitary reaper. He tries to guess, and that's why he says, perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things. He understands that the song is sad one. Listening the song, the poet understands that the song is a painful song. The theme of the song is sad. Plaintive means sad. He thinks that the song is about a battlefield or about past matter and which is also unhappy. The poet is trying to find out other reasons which induce the solitary reaper to sing like this sad song. He thinks that the subject matter of this song may be humble matter or poor matter or familiar matter, day to day familiar matter, or maybe it is about natural sorrow like flood or earthquake or tsunami, etc., or loss of or pain of dear ones, which generally happens in our life and which may happen again in our life. So here, by the help of deep intuition, poet tries to find out the subject matter of the song of the solitary reaper, as he does not know the language of the solitary reaper, and that's why he is trying to find out the subject matter of the solitary reaper by the help of the tune. This is the last stanza. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. How the song of the solitary reaper affected our poet is seen in this last stanza. Now poet is talking about the past matter. It is as if the song is never ending. The song is so beautiful, so melodious that it will stay in the heart of the poet forever. And that's why he recollected in his tranquility and tried to put them in his poetry. The poet compares the song of the solitary reaper with nature, and that's why it has no ending at all. Whenever the poet will listen to the music of the nightingale or cuckoo bird, every time he will remember the song of the solitary reaper, because the song of the solitary reaper has uh, everlasting quality. Let me highlight one important thing, that is poet here used past tense saw. That means the scene of the solitary reaper is not before the eye of the poet, it is within his mind, and that's why he used past tense in the last stanza. The picture was so vivid that the poet can easily recall or imagine that scenario. That's why poet says, I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. The picture of the harvesting is still in the mind of the poet. When the poet was listening to the song of the solitary reaper, he was spellbound. That's why he says motionless, still. After listening the song of the solitary reaper, the poet walked up the hill, but what happened to him, that he was carrying the song of the solitary reaper in his heart. So in the first stanza, poet is a keen observer and it is written in the present tense. In the second stanza, poet has a rhetorical knowledge and has imaginative power, and that's why poet compares the song of the solitary reaper with song of nightingale and cuckoo bird. In the third stanza, poet has deep intuition regarding song, melody, and that's why with the help of the melody or the tune of the melody, poet tries to understand the subject matter of the song of the solitary reaper, though he does not know the language of the solitary reaper or language of the song. And in the last stanza, poet has a recollective power, a strong memory, and with the help of that recollecting power, poet tries to depict the actual picture of the solitary reaper and her song in his poetry. Now let me speak about some other aspects of this poetry. This is a ballad. This poetry is a ballad. What is a ballad? Ballad is a form of verse and often a narrative set to music. That means a ballad has a quality to be sung. The theme of this poetry is expressive beauty. Expressive beauty means the expressive power of the poet. Here the poet has a power to express the beauty of the solitary reaper. Other travelers also observed the solitary reaper, but they could not find the beauty of the solitary reaper. It is the poet William Wordsworth who has a power to recognize the actual beauty of the solitary reaper. This poetry is also about power of music. That means the song of the solitary reaper has a powerful effect which induces the poet to write this kind of poetry. Next important theme is connection to nature. The solitary reaper is connected to nature. It is very much clear in this poetry, and that's why her song is compared to cuckoo bird and also to the nightingale. This poetry is also about memory of the poet, and with the help of that memory, poet has tried to recollect the picture of the solitary reaper and tries to depict it in his poetry, in the form of a poetry. The rhyme scheme of this poetry is A B A B C C D D. It is written in iambic tetrameter. This poetry reflects the poet's deep connection with nature and the emotions it evokes. The analysis of this poetry ends here. If this analysis is effective for you, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.